Hi, Aunt Ruby. I'm going to read you a story that I wrote. It took me 8 years to write it. Cindy and I both did the illustrations on it. Parts of this story are true from when I grew up on Fagan Drive. So, and I know you have some stories, mouse stories to tell also. So, this is kind of a continuation of a mouse story. It's called Marv the Marvelous. Author Nadina Darrah, illustrators Cindy and Nadina, and it is dedicated to my mom, Maddie Beck. Thank you for always being there for me. Your fear of mice continues through two more generations, and parts of this story have lived on in my memory for years. Many years ago, I lived in a field with many other field mice at the end of a street. Many were friends and relatives. It was a busy field with strange mice coming and going at all hours of the day and night. Needless to say, I was ready to move on. I happened to wander into a fine home down the street from the field, a home I could call my own, with the exception of an occasional visitor passing through. I wandered through the maze of rooms day after day. I enjoyed nibbling on some crumbs left by the previous occupants. However, food was getting scarce. My thoughts were leaning towards moving on. I loved my quiet home and really didn't want to leave, but a mouse has to eat. Then one day, a large family moved into my home. Humans, a mom, a dad, three boys, and a little girl. This meant food. While I was making my rounds one morning, I saw a very small mouse sitting by the kitchen table. Thinking someone was invading my home, I watched from behind the fridge. At that moment, the mom came in and sat down. She spotted the mouse and screamed, "A mouse!" I heard laughing and clapping as the rest of the humans came into the room. One of the boys picked it up by the tail and swung it from side to side, letting out a deep laugh. I had seen one of these years ago. It was a toy mouse. The boy was very proud of himself for making his mom jump. I actually thought this was funny myself and did a little song and dance. She got fooled by a little fake mouse. She got fooled in her very own house. The boys think they're quite clever and slick when they make their mom jump and scream real quick. I tried to stay out of the way so as not to be seen. Time after time, I saw these evil children set this toy mouse in different places to scare their mother. Every time she would jump and scream and shake her finger and say, "You got me again." This seemed to make them very happy. One day, the little boy left his toy mouse in the laundry basket, probably trying to play another joke on his mom. Shortly, the little boy left for the day. I snuck up to the laundry basket and nibbled on the tiny gray look-alike. The toy mouse wasn't very tasty and was even harder to swallow. A bit later, my head was spinning and my tummy was churning, and I couldn't get my body to move another step. I lay still as a statue in the middle of the room, hoping I wouldn't be seen. I knew what happened to real mice when they were spotted in homes where humans live. Then I heard a woman's voice. "Okay, who did it?" A man's voice said, "Did what?" The woman's voice said, "Who put this here?" "Oh, really funny, guys." I heard several voices at the same time say, "What are you talking about?" I knew that I should scramble for safety, but I couldn't bring my feet to move. My mind was racing as I saw several of the humans step into the room. They all looked down and together said, "I didn't do it." Oh no, I could see the bottom of a boot coming down on me. My mind raced into high gear. I was about to be squashed into a pancake, never to be seen or heard from again. I needed to move quickly. As the foot came down, it hit my tail. As he lifted his foot, he stepped back. I jumped straight up into the air. As I was in midair, I thought how I would never taste another nibble of cheese or have another crumb ever again. At the same time, a horrible scream pierced my little ears and sent me racing away as fast as my tiny mouse feet could carry me. I took a chance and looked back to see the mom with her arms swinging in the air and legs dancing like a puppet, screaming, "It's alive! It's alive!" I raced towards the dresser as the man's foot kept on trying to stomp down on me and in my little life on earth. Turning my little head backwards again, I saw the lady run into the bathroom screaming as she jumped into the tub, continuing her fit. "It's alive! It's alive!" I saw the family burst into laughter, and I thought this was funnier than any of the jokes they had ever played. The man left the room and came back with a little gizmo that is known in the mouse world as the flatnecker. Most of us know to stay clear of these things, but every so often they put a little treat in there that is so tasty that one of us is lured into its deadly clutches. I had to make a decision and fast. Should I stay or should I go? Could I, a mouse, continue living in a home that wanted me gone? Not just gone as has left the house. I mean gone off the face of the earth. Should I go or should I stay? I decided to stay low for a few days and think about what I wanted to do. I was careful to stay away from the flatnecker. In the next few days, I grew fond of the little girl. At the kitchen table, the little girl would often drop crumbs for me when her mom wasn't looking. She would smile and wink at me, knowing she had made a friend. I found a cozy place to sleep, snuggled on her headboard behind a stack of books where I can watch over her. One day, the girl went out the door to play in the yard. I ran to my little hole at the side of the house that allows me to come and go as I please. I made my way to the front yard. I climbed a rose bush. I could see the mom watering the flowers. I climbed as high as I could so I could watch the girl play with her ball. I saw her chase the ball into the road. I heard a loud car coming from afar. My mind was racing. What should I do? Danger, danger. I raced down the bush and over to her mom, squeaking, squeak, squeak. She couldn't hear me. This time I put all my strength into my squeak, 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 squeakity, squeak, squeak. She glanced around and saw me. I raced towards the road. At that point, she saw the little girl and jumped into action. She yelled, "Car coming!" Just as the car was coming around the corner, the little girl looked up and saw the car. She ran towards the house and her mom. The little girl's mother hugged her and talked to her about the dangers of playing in the road. That night, the mom told the dad, "I never knew mice could be so nice. And this little mouse is such a hero." The dad agreed. "Yes, he's quite a marvelous mouse. We'll call him Marv the Marvelous Mouse." The next day, when the mom came home from shopping, I could see she had brought me a fine mouse house of my very own and a big wedge of cheddar cheese to munch on. It was then, for the first time, that I really felt like part of the family. And that is the end of Marv the Marvelous Mouse. Hope you enjoyed it, Aunt Ruby. Love you.